Hello and welcome to my workshop. A friend of mine just recently finished building this Jeep. Columbia, his Class 1 truck. Needs some help putting the bumpers on. So I'm going to do the front bumper, rear bumper, and also sliders. So let's get to it. So just have to bend up the ends, silver solder along each edge, get that secured down, and then once that's done I can bend it up around that final corner, come back in, notch the center part, and that'll make this a much thinner looking bumper from the front, but still be plenty wide enough to mount a winch on it. Couple more whacks on the hammer on the anvil, and that'll be ready to go. So I'm going to do that and we'll continue on. What I ended up doing is cutting notches on both ends, bending this down, and then silver soldering it together. So when you'll go onto the truck in this fashion right here, so these ends will bend up. One of the things I'll have to do next is come down and notch out the center, and then I'm probably going to have to taper the ends back to make it a little thinner on the end, so it's not quite such a square block. But anyway, just going to start marking this out and then making some more cuts, and then we'll get to get some more soldering. Okay, so I was able to get the front bumper cut down and shaped into the final thing I'm looking for. And, you know, it's going to go on the front in that general vicinity right there. You know, he wanted it to be the full width of the windshield, which is, you know, to meet the rules for the Sirocco Class 1. I think that's going to work pretty well. It gives him a spot to mount a winch, and it's, you know, nice and beefy like he was looking for, but it's not so unobtrusive that it would be hard to get up over the obstacles and stuff. So coming along really nicely. Need to get some mounts to go back to the chassis here, and then start working on the rear bumper. Okay, so what I got here is just a piece of 1/2 inch steel, and I'm going to use this for the rear bumper. What I'm going to end up doing is just taking off the rear section completely, making a couple notches on both ends, bending those over, silver soldering them back up, just to give it a little bit of an interest on the end. Probably cap off the end and then make a mount. So nice simple bumper, but be nice and sturdy. So let's get started. Okay, so I was able to get a just nice simple bumper for the rear. It it's turned on each end in. It has a little bit of a taper on it. It's a little shorter on the bottom and the top. Just a little bit, a couple of little details here and there to make it look, not so like a square bumper, but yet, make it nice and simple. The next step is to get the sliders, and then we'll wrap this thing up and give it back to my friend, and he can do whatever he wants to finish this project. So let's get to that. Okay, so this pretty much wraps up my portion of this build. I'm going to give it back to my friend, and he can finish up, any cleanup work, painting, and then anything else he needs to do. So the bumper, like he wanted a nice big beefy bumper, a little bit of a bar I added, and plenty of space to mount a winch if he cares to. Nice simple sliders. They're just a piece of tubing that's soldered into some ends that's bolted on directly to the body. So nice and simple. The back is, again, nice and beefy and a good solid bumper, but it's pretty simple. Have a little bit of angle on each end. The bottom is a little bit smaller than the top. Gives a little bit of angle on the side, just kind of a little bit of interest. And all in all, I think it turned out pretty well. Excited to see him driving this, and looking forward to getting on to the next projects. Until then, we'll see you in the rocks.